Alright, so this week is going to be a pretty exciting week. Now that all the painting is done, the clear coating is on, we put 2 coats of the clear coat on everything. And the tractor is running and working and driving like it should. It's time to put the tractor back together finally. And I know that's something we've been waiting for a long time, and I still have a few things I have to do before it goes completely back together. I haven't really been keeping you guys updated, so I'm going to just kind of fill you in right now. So, first of all, this is the pancake muffler that I've had on this thing. It's loose right now. It's just kind of hanging there. And that's, my uncle welded that up for me. But what happened was, I went, this piece right here is the hood support, and it bolts in here and here. And I had it on there for a little bit just to see how it did. And what happened was this pancake muffler was right in the way, so it was blowing soot all over it, and it was burning the paint off of it. That's how I see a lot of these 200 series tractors. So it's nothing, it's not uncommon for them to look like that, but I really don't want this one to look like that, because then we'd have to keep repainting it, and it would be kind of annoying. So I tried to come up with a better solution, and because this muffler, this isn't the stock muffler, this really doesn't look right. So I posted a wanted ad on Weekend Freedom Machines, which is a big tractor John Deere forum, and within a matter of days, I had a bunch of responses. Guys emailed me. One of them said, "Here for $35, I have a good used muffler for your 210." And I looked at it, and I said, all right, great. And within a matter of days, it got shipped to my door. And one thing I didn't notice was that it was for the older 210s. I don't have it here right now, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. It was actually for the older 210s. The old 210s had the muffler. The mufflers on these tractors were made by Nelson. They had them custom made because these tractors were very tight. So they had to have them design a muffler that would fit in the side panels and still, you know, get blown out the right way and everything like that. So they used a Nelson muffler, and basically, like, I don't have the muffler here right now, but this is what the muffler looks like. There's a cover on half of it, and then the exhaust blows out this side. And that's the reason why so many of the tractors have soot all over the hood support. And this is for a later tractor, so I didn't want that to happen. Because around 1981 or so, or at some serial number break, I don't know if it was 1979 or 1981 or what, they switched the muffler around, because they went through several changes with these tractors as they made them. And during one of those production run changes, they changed the muffler, so it goes out this way. There's a little flap welded on the end, and that's the muffler that I had on it before, if some of you guys remember. But when we took that tractor to get sandblasted, and that was a year ago today, believe it or not, now that I'm thinking about it, we heat blasted my friend Robert. That muffler was junk. I mean, it was rusted on there, it had holes in it, and it was just, I mean, it worked alright, but it needed to be replaced because it wasn't going to last much longer. So he heat blasted it and pulled it off and just junked it because it was junk. And in the meantime, we needed something. I just needed something little, and my uncle's handy with welding. And I got this muffler for $6 at the hardware store, and it worked pretty good, and it made a nice sound too. Because like I said in one of my last videos, there was another YouTuber, Lake79. He had this on his 210, and I said that would be a good replacement temporarily. So that's what I did, and it worked good. But like I said, I don't want it to get soot all over the hood support. So that's just temporary. That's not going to stay like that. So I got this new muffler, and it's in good shape, but I had to have my uncle do a little bit of work to it because, like I said, it wasn't quite right. It was for the older 210. So yesterday morning, I went and got got the drill and my new wire wheel attachment, whatever I do. Here it is, and just went over it and did a lot of sanding on it and made it nice and smooth. It had a little bit of rust pitting, but it wasn't bad. So that's my uncle came down yesterday. We put the side panel on it, and he took some thin cardboard and he made a template out of the cardboard, he's going to take some tin and weld a funnel to it, make a tin funnel and weld that to the end of the new muffler so it blows right out the side panel and keeps the smoke off of everything. So that's great. So that's that. I can't put the hood support on until the muffler goes on, and of course, without the hood support, I can't put on the hood or the side panels, so that's going to have to wait until later this week once my uncle gets the muffler welded. So this is just going to have to stay like this for a while. What else did I do? Let's see. I've been screwing around with the carburetor adjustment a little more. I almost got it working. I finally got it to idle below, all the way down, because what was happening before was it wouldn't idle below there. Like as soon as you brought it down below there, the motor would stall. So I got that fixed. Just adjusted the screws a little bit more, and I took some clear coat and I just blasted the Blitz black because it looks a lot more like this engine enamel. I mean, this is really dusty because I was driving around in the field with it yesterday, but it's that glossy black look. So I shot it with some of that, and it looks pretty good. Now it matches. And while I was at it, I also shot the hood support with it, and that looks pretty good too. Or the muffler shroud, I mean, not the hood support. That's got to go on after the muffler goes on. So that's that. Did a little more adjusting on the rear lift kit. I took this plate right here, I took this off and repainted it because it was rusty, because I bought it used. It came off of another tractor, so to make it match, I took it off and repainted it, and it looked pretty good. I got it all hooked up again, as you can see. You can see these rubber pads on the gas tank were bad because they wouldn't stick. I had to super glue the old ones at one point, and they still wouldn't stick. And I had these sitting in the garage. These are like little coasters for if you have like furniture and like it sits on the floor. Like if you have a heavy piece of furniture sitting on the carpet in your room, you just put these little pads under it, and it keeps it from leaving big holes in the carpet. So we had a few of them sitting around, and they were just the right size, and they stuck pretty good too. And then I don't know if you can see here, I stuck some more under there, because it keeps the friction, keeps it from creating friction between the metal and the plastic, and because there's gas in there, you don't want that to happen, obviously. So that's another thing. I went on eBay and I got a new shifter knob. This actually, it's not brand new, but it was listed as almost never used. I mean, it had some use to it, but the old one was just worn down from the guy's palm, just holding it like this. It was all worn down. It looked bad, and all that stuff on top was faded too. And this one's in pretty good shape. It's just got a couple scratches, but I screwed it on, and it looks pretty good, and it works fine. So that's that. It saved me from spending $25 on a brand new one. Let's see. I think with the tractor, that's about it. We're just getting ready to put it back together. I went on greenfarmparts.com. I buy a lot of my parts from them, and I bought 2 of these taillight lenses, because these tractors, originally, the old ones, you could order them with taillights like this, but that was before they changed them up at a certain serial number, and they started putting reflectors on them, and this had reflectors, but I didn't like the reflectors, so I got rid of them, and I put these lenses on it, and all it is, it's just, I think they still need to be tightened, but it's just 2 little push nuts, as you can see right in there, and then there's a socket right there for the bulbs. So I got to find a wiring harness and figure out how to tap into the main wiring harness, because these later 210s never had a slot for them. So yeah, I'll get that working at some point. I'm not exactly worried about it right now, but I just want it for looks, because I didn't want to have a 210 with no tail lights or anything on it. So that's another project. Here's the foot grips. I bought these a couple months ago, and got WD-40 on one of them, which that'll probably wear off. But these old pads, they had a little rust under them, and they were just starting to peel away. And you can see they were really peeling away. And we just kind of painted over them, so I'm just going to stick the new ones on and make them look nice. I was wondering whether I should put diamond plated grips on it just for the looks, but it doesn't look original. So you can see we still have the decals masked off, the original decals to give it some character. That's the gas tank decal and the safety decal. And then we just masked off the decals on the hood because they're a little faded, but they're not too bad. The hood was tough to paint because I think a lot of us can agree that the paint, when it comes to painting a fiberglass hood like this, the paint just doesn't stick and it gives you a lot of trouble. So, of course, it happened to us. You can see it's not on there evenly, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, this tractor is not going to be like a trailer queen. It's going to be a worker and a bit of a show horse, too, when I can find time. So, right now, I'm not really concerned about looks. But, I mean, with all the time we've spent on this thing, I think it should at least look half decent. Pretty soon, these tires are going to go, because these are the original tires. They have probably about 70% tread left on them. This is, it's hard to tell on the camera, but these are just, they're worn down, and this tire never holds air. This, if you saw in one of my videos I posted last year, this tire has a bad seal, and it keeps on leaking air, so I have to blow the tire up every time I go out to use it. So, I don't want turf tires anyway. I want to give it the more aggressive look, so I'm going to buy some Carlisle Field Tracks, or All Trails, they're heavy-duty, all-purpose tires. They're basically like ATV tires, and you can use them for going in the backwoods like I do, and you can use them for mowing the lawn, because they won't hurt the lawn. I was going to go for ag tires, but they would tear the lawns up, especially some of these other lawns that I mow. They're aggressive, but maybe a little too aggressive. So if I get another tractor, I'll probably put ags on it, just for looks. So yeah, I'm not ready to buy them yet, but the H-DAPs are on my list. One of the last things I'll have to get. My uncle has a bead breaker, so we can just take the tires off and change them. And I'm getting some V61 heavy-duty rib tires for the front too, because they're great with traction and they look pretty good too. They won't match the H-DAPs, but they still look pretty nice. And they're heavy-duty. Yeah, so right now that's what's going on. Just everything's just ready to go. We just don't have it back together yet. Here, I'll show you this too. This is the seat. The back of the seat was all faded and scratched up. So I took a wire brush and I sanded down some of the rusty parts and smoothed it all out. And then I took my remaining cans of Blitz black paint, and I was able to squeeze enough black paint out of the cans to paint this twice. Then I sprayed some clear coat on it just for looks, and it looks really nice. I covered up the decal, and it has a couple imperfections, but it still looks pretty good. It saved me from having to buy a whole new seat, which is good. Because there's, if you go to a dealer, you can get a new seat anywhere from $100 to $150 or even more. And people are real picky about that because a lot of them don't have the John Deere logo on them like the original ones did. Like you can see this one does. It just has the words. But the 318s and the other ones had a different style seat with the logo and everything on it. So this seat's actually not in bad shape, but it looks like crap because it's faded and it doesn't match everything else. It could be worse, but a lot of them get really torn up. But this one wasn't bad. I'm still, like I said, I saved myself from buying a new seat. I need to clean it off. It's a little dusty. Now, what I just need to do, you can go on a website like Green Farm Parts or a place like that, and you can get a recover kit, and basically, instead of buying a whole new seat, you take off this old seal here. There's a clip at the bottom there, and once you get the clip off, you take off this seal and this cushion, and it gives you a new clip, a new cushion, and a new seal, and it's all original. So it's basically a cheaper way of getting a new seat without having to buy a whole new seat, because the pan's fine, and the seat switch works pretty good too. And while I was at it, I also sanded and painted the seat springs and the straps, as you can see there. I just got to bolt them on. And, yeah, they turned out pretty good. I had a bunch of other stuff hanging up here. It was kind of funny, because I had, as long as no one opened this door, it'd be fine. So I just hung them all up on here. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it for right now. I still have a couple more things to do before we can start putting it back together. But yeah, pretty soon you guys will see us put it back together. I'm going to do like a step-by-step video with the sockets and everything. I have to get my parts manual, or parts diagrams from the website, just so I know what goes where, because it's been over a year since I took this thing apart, and I've got rid of most of the bolts anyway. So yeah, so that's pretty much it right now. If you want, actually, no, before I stop the video, I'll roll it outside and you guys can hear it idle, because I've been, like I said, I've been screwing around with it and adjusting it. I can't start it in the garage because these old Kohlers have that Kohler cologne, as they call it, and it smells. I mean, I get used to it, but everyone else in my family hates it because it just smells horrible. So it still needs just a little bit more adjusting. This top screw on the carburetor needs more adjusting because it's not running quite right. It'll start at an idle, which is good. So here we go. And I got it to run without the choke too. That's about as low as you want to let it idle, because someone commented on my last video, the Seafoam video. I think it was 1944 John Deere L. I think it was him. He said you can't have it idle too low, and I agree with him, because these little Kohlers, they have an oil slinger. They don't have like a whole oil pump and an oil filter and all that stuff, and so it needs to be able to, you know, create enough force to sling the oil up, because if not, you won't get oil to everything. So it has a little bit of trouble accelerating, so I have to pull the choke out a bit. But well, the muffler just fell off. But you can see it runs at an idle now, so that's good. It doesn't stall out. But yeah, that's what a Kohler sounds like with no muffler on it. Pretty cool, huh? So there you guys go. Pretty soon we'll start putting it back together. That was just an update. That's like getting ready to put it back together. And I've been driving this thing around the neighborhood with no parts on it, so everyone thinks I'm a redneck. That's gonna end soon. Alright, see you guys.